Okay. Perfect. We're recording now.
In the event you need to borrow a bus to get a school district or the phone one, like private school.
School.
Got a door.
Perfect.
I didn't know y'all ever did
Well, you can do a few things. We just, hey, I've been driving about 4 people in my car today. That's the burden. So, but we just never have to pay more than get a bus or how to be able to drive one or anything like that. So, like when we go to summer camp, that was awesome. And, but never encountered that. So, but yeah, usually
sometimes the school districts alone the different places.
Yeah, but usually we just have drivers that do it. Hi, Corinne. Good morning. So yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't get unmuted fast enough.
Oh, you're good. Good morning. I saw you popped on, so I was like, hey. I know my camera's up here, and I'm looking at my computer down here. I've got this new camera cool thing up here. So if at any time you have anything, comment, question, anything, I'm gonna have Leah running the computer over here for all of our Zoom people. So raise your hand, holler, unmute it, whatever you want to do. We're kind of gonna be casual today and stuff. So good morning. So yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, anything, just unmute and say something or whatever. And if you can't hear me, please let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Oh, me and Bernita are matching today. You're matching with me today. Yay! Pick where you want to sit. I've got pins up here if you need a pin. Sure. I'm going to give you your stuff really quick. You can throw a chair in there too if you want.
Yeah, we don't have to referee. I have to.
And I got some of your Okay. I'm going to give this to you. This is just your archery. How much money you guys have. We're going to go over some things. I didn't make you a notebook because I know you have your own notebooks for archery and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you've got all that stuff. So, oh, and I've got your.
Was she able to print them?
Yay.
Yes. So those are yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think what I do is when I pull the old ones out, I shred them because I just don't know how much.
I gotcha. Yes. Oh, Troy, this is the Wilson clan. This is Leon, Lucy, and Bernita. He is our new Washington leader.
Awesome.
I know. We're excited. So,
Yeah, because I know there's kids there that are looking forward to it.
yes. Leon and Bernita do archery and air rifle. They shoot things.
Yeah.
So that's them. Lucy is my president for McLean County at the moment. She's a senior. Hello, Miss Lee. And
We have money. Is it positive or negative? Well, I don't know. Maybe shut the front.
it's positive, yeah.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
Okay. I have to wear this because they're gonna have to hear me, and I'm gonna be over here, and my mic for the computer's over there. I'm gonna have to be a hack. I got something for you. So, okay. So this is for you and Corinne to kind of share. Just a notebook I put together for you guys. I'm gonna go over everything in there. I finished the story earlier. I'll go over everything that's in there. Bless you. And Corinne, I just gave me a notebook. It's got some stuff in it. You might already have a binder or whatever that you use. I just put some stuff in it that you can update your records with or whatever. And so I'm just giving one per club. So I'm gonna go over everything that's in it. You kind of already know everything that's in it. So I just want to make sure everyone is up to date. And has it. She'll have that. I'm just gonna wait for Leah to get here. She's running my computer stuff. She doesn't know it yet, but she does.
You don't let my cough worry you. My doctor says I can cough like this for 2 months. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
You can't catch it from us. You can't catch it from you. Because we already did.
Yeah, they had it.
I read up on it yesterday. People thought, wait, am I? No.
So you had it really bad. You had it sort of, and you didn't feel anything out, right?
What's the three bears?
Yeah.
This chair's too hard, this one's too soft, and this one's just right.
It's got to be something to do with genetics or something. I wonder. I mean, I do have asthma, but
Yeah.
Because she's younger, and they say a lot of times.
well, I just read a
Exactly.
story. A young man in Moore is on the vent and probably won't live. I don't know, but he's 28. But his mother had it and got over it. His brother didn't get it.
Yeah.
And he's dying.
It just affects people differently, I guess. I mean, three of you guys all live in the same household and everything.
I never would have gotten tested, except for they found out several people in the office I work in, building I work in anyway, tested positive. They were showing signs and all that. And so I wanted to get tested because all the things they say, go get tested, this happens, none of it happened.
That's crazy.
Fever was always low.
90.1.
You mean 99?
Yeah, 99.
I was like 90? Oh, wow. We got some problems, Leon.
I think
Yeah.
I only was 100.5, so
Oh, my God.
it never got that
So
high.
you didn't get very high.
No, I just had all the respiratory garbage. Which is, I don't recommend it. But you know what, I hear of children getting it and being pretty sick, so it's weird. Oh, and I forgot, the 28-year-old with diabetes, so
That's what it
that's
is.
his thing, but still, it's like,
I think 5, 6 years from now, they'll come back and they'll tell us all sorts of things that make so much sense, but right now. It's just
yeah, even online,
This is for Lily. She participated in fair, so that is first. I will give, are you gonna see Chris anytime soon? Yeah. Okay, I will give her, her kids t-shirt as well, if you don't mind. Okay, perfect. Corinne, I don't know if you just heard that. I've got t-shirts for the kids from participating in fair. So I'm gonna give them to Lee and she said she'll give them to you. So your kids have their t-shirts for fair.
Great, thank you.
Awesome, you're welcome. You've got your t-shirt. Okay, perfect. I know I'm stalling. I'm waiting for Leah to get here. She said she's coming. So, does anybody have any questions for me before we start? Anyone on the Zoom have questions for me? Anybody here? We're gonna do introductions in a minute, so I'm gonna make everyone kind of talk. Sorry. I would have some fun icebreaker games, but we can't really do them with people on Zoom and people here, and we can't touch and we can't get close. So,
oh, I did have a question.
yes,
I know we said on Tractor Supply, we're not doing hot dogs.
no,
Is the bake sale out too?
yeah, it's just because we have to go with those COVID,
Right.
protocols with the food and serving and stuff. And so,
I figure you have a plan for your food contest pumpkin fair.
yes, I do. Nobody gets to
Nobody gets to eat it.
eat anything for pumpkin fair this
Aw.
year.
kind of
You
like
can bring it.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna have anyone test it, or I'm gonna have a judge there, and it's up to the judge if they feel comfortable enough.
Yeah.
To put themselves in that situation. If not, we're just gonna go off the smell and look and texture and all that kind of stuff with the food.
Hoping we can get back.
I know, I'm hoping so too, and I didn't realize it was Tulsa Fair weekend too.
Well,
So,
and when they send, one of the other coaches pointed out, they're breaking the team, the seniors up by 3 groups.
mhm.
So they're shooting every discipline, but it's still the same amount. Yeah, so it may still
Oh,
take.
okay, okay.
That may, because there's one of those disciplines takes longer than all the others every time.
Oh, goodness.
Is it
And
needed?
so it's feeder.
Because they shoot
And
4
so
disciplines.
by dividing them up into 3 groups,
Mhm.
and having different groups, it should run about the same as the normal content.
Okay.
Which means we'll get home about 6.
Okay, okay,
It just is what it is.
okay. So,
But
yeah, and then I threw in a pumpkin eating contest. I know that sounds weird since we're not supposed to, it's saliva and stuff, but I'm gonna buy pumpkin pies from the store and they're gonna be already prepackaged. And then I'm gonna have the person that's participating, they're gonna open their own package. So we're not touching anything. And then we're gonna have them socially distance out on the table. And we're gonna go from there. I'm just gonna go into it. I know. And everything is gonna be outside this year for Pumpkin Fair. It's gonna be in the parking lot outside.
You'll have to
I'm hoping it's not gonna be super hot. or
film
cold.
the pie anytime.
Yes, I'm gonna film everything. I'm gonna try. We've got this new cool camera. It zooms, it swivels, it moves, and everything. It's really cool. So we're gonna hopefully have everything run through Facebook Live or live on our YouTube page. So, but Pumpkin Fair is gonna be out in the parking lot this year. I'm not gonna be. I am gonna have the food in here. I'm gonna have you bring, if you have a food item that you're entering, I'm gonna have you bring it in here. We're gonna have the table back there like we usually do. Like you can come in and get your ribbon and everything, whatever. We're gonna have all the painting outside. So I don't have to worry about painting on the floor this year. So hello, Miss Leah. So it looks like everyone is here now. Leah, I'm gonna have you run the Zoom, if you don't mind.
Yeah, surprise.
Just make sure that no one is, if someone's talking or asking a question, I don't know that I can hear them up here. So, you guys hear me okay on our Zoom? We good? Okay, sounds good. Okay. Yeah, this is yours. Made this for you. Word all or everything in it. I've got the camera facing me. You can move that chair anywhere you want. When I move the PowerPoint, you can just move that PowerPoint. It should be up on here. You should just face it, if you don't mind. And if they have a question, if they can't hear me, whatever, if you don't mind, thank you. Okay, so I guess we'll get started this morning. I cut this into from 10 to 12, hoping that everyone can hear me when that's in. That I don't take all day away from you and we're not like exposed for any longer than we have to be. I'm not gonna wear my mask up here just because I'm far away from you guys and I'm afraid that it won't pick up on the microphone and they won't hear me. So start off with, I gave you guys all a binder. Those on Zoom, I have your binders. If you want to pick it up, I know that some people have kind of their own binder thing going on. My archery, air rifle, and shotgun kind of have their own thing we know of. We talk about things like that. So you don't have to use my binder I give you. You can use it. Corinne might have her own thing that she brings you into. I know Leah has her own thing that she does with her stuff. Everything in there we're going to talk about today. So we will get started on our PowerPoint. Can you guys see this okay, or do I need to turn the light off? We're good? Okay. So today we're going to kind of talk about some 4-H on track is what we call it. It's taking revitalization to all clubs. So that's kind of what track means. I know I really have never done this with y'all, so this might be new for some of you guys. Some of you have might seen it before. It's just that we're all kind of on track with the same thing with our program, our 4-H. You know, if you're a project club versus a community club, I want us to try to be on the same track this year. And it gives some of those that are newer something to grasp onto and move forward with. So 4-H on track, what is it? It's a program planning process designed to strengthen the local and county 4-H program by making local meetings safe, educational, interactive, and fun. So we're going to go over a little bit about what a 4-H meeting should look like. I know project clubs are different. MOA is different from archery and shotgun. Everyone has their own little niche that they have. But for our community clubs, we usually go by a certain standard. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's kind of what on track is. So to bring success to our 4-H members in our club, we require a few things. So family or 4-H is a family unit. That's kind of what we look at. That's kind of how we play things. You know, McLean County 4-H is a family in itself. So I always say, you know, don't embarrass the family when you go places. Don't embarrass the 4-H name, and the McLean County 4-H name is what I mean by that. We are a big family. I know we come together when there's needs in the community, or you know, even with our own volunteers. We had one of our volunteers that came down with cancer last year, and we all just kind of strive together to get her through that how best we could. So we really want to get our families involved in this any way you can. I know that some people, Blanchard, they meet after school sometimes, so it's hard to get that relationship with mom and dad and grandparents and whatnot. But we do like to get that going. So we hope that they'll get involved to kind of help support you, support the kids, that kind of sort of thing. So all family volunteers and 4-H members share in the leadership and responsibilities of being associated with the 4-H organization name and emblem. So that means we don't want Leah or Troy just standing up there talking to the kids the whole time, telling them what to do, how to do it. We want to bring the kids in and make it a leadership experience for them. They get to run things. They get to, you know, bring their own ideas into our 4-H clubs. So this is not Bernita's club. This is not Lee's club. This is our Purcell club. This is our club together. We like to have our officer teams per club. I know that's hard to generate. I don't even know, does Purcell have club members or officer members established yet? Not yet. So that's okay. And I know Washington won't either. Have you guys chose officers yet? So officers haven't been chosen yet for clubs. I know that even our project clubs. Do you guys have a president? Do you guys follow that rule a little bit?
We don't really.
And that's okay.
Yeah, we don't really. We
Gotcha.
usually have one senior that kind of acts like that throughout the time, but not.
Well, we've had some ask to if we could have officers so they can put it in their book,
In their record book, yeah. So,
but we don't really.
gotcha. So we'll go over a little bit later in the PowerPoint what the officers' duties and responsibilities are. But just to have a general idea, we're trying to make this a big family unit, not just, you know, my club, these are my kids, I'm gonna run it how I want to. So everyone gets a say kind of a thing. Okay, so we have 5 basic needs for every club environment. So number 1, provide opportunities to develop relationships. That's something super important that we want to do. We want to establish those relationships, grow our program, and get more involved. Number 2, we want to promote feelings of acceptance and belonging. We are all about bringing people in. We don't want to exclude anybody. So I know sometimes when we set our meeting times, it's hard for kids to be there after school or, you know, get there at 6 o'clock at night. So like I say to all of you guys need to schedule your meetings when it's best for you. But we also don't want to schedule it, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning where you know no one's going to come, obviously. So we're here for acceptance and belonging. We want to make that every kid that's there feel like they belong there, like they are welcomed in. We don't want to ostracize anyone. Number 3, provide safety and structure. So we want to obviously have our meetings in a safe environment. We don't want to have it, you know, next to the county jail. Probably not the safest environment. So just think of that when you're going to either take your kids somewhere. If you're going to, you know, go, I know our MOA club goes out on hikes. I know Brad doesn't take them anywhere that's going to be super dangerous where they're going to walk off a cliff or anything like that. So, and same with our shooting sports and our horse program. We have to make sure we keep our rules in place so no one does get hurt, you know, and if they do, what are the steps we take next to ensure that we are following protocol. We'll go over those again today because they're in your notebooks. Number 4, provide opportunities to contribute to the group. Like I said before, we're a group unit. People, your officers need to have a say in kind of what's going on in your club meetings, as well as maybe some outside parents that can bring a different perspective in, those sort of things. And 5, promote competence and independence. So we do want these kids to grow up with some life skills, send them out in the world to be better citizens of the world and kind of, you know, do what they can. And so we want to build that independence and teach those life skills. So
Do we have any questions, comments, anything from that? Perfect. I'm probably not saying anything you don't know, but now you know. Okay, so local 4-H programs should develop life skills. I've got our Clover Bud up here. We do Clover Buds in our program as well as 4-H members. Clover Buds start at the age of 5 and go till they are
9th, 3rd grade.
8th, 3rd grade. 8th, 3rd grade is when you're allowed to be a 4-H member. If you're 8 and 2nd grade, you're still considered a Clover Bud. It's kind of wonky and weird. But we do have a Clover Bud program. Leah over here and Bernita, they are our go-to when it comes to Clover Bud activities during the summertime. I know Lily has grown up in the Clover Bud program. I think Lucy, did you grow up in the Clover Bud stages? So that was before my time. But so we want to develop life skills, good decision-making skills. When she cuts, I think it's an apple she's cutting, we're going to teach her the proper skills of, move your fingers out of the way. We don't want you to cut your fingers. So we definitely teach by doing in 4-H. We want to instill that, those leadership skills, the self-confidence, knowledge, new knowledge and skills. We do everything from cooking, sewing to hiking and shooting sports and, what else have we taught the kids? Beekeeping and gardening. So we do everything in 4-H. There's not anything that we don't have a place for a kid. And that's kind of why 4-H is awesome in a way. We've got something for everyone. If you're a photographer, we've got that. So we want to develop those skills that they can use when they do get older in high school and then, move on in the world as they become adults. So that's something we really strive to do. So in 4-H, we really like hands-on stuff. This COVID thing kind of puts a different spin on things. I would have you guys be doing hands-on stuff. I'm a hands-on learner. That's how I do. We would be doing some fun stuff today, but COVID, I'm just kind of trying to stay away from everyone as much as possible, just so we can keep all that down. So feel free in your club meetings, to do hands-on activities. I know Leah does. They make their own snacks sometimes. That's one of they do a circuit thing. I might have her talk about that in a bit. And I think that Priscilla has adopted the circuit thing as well. So we'll have her talk about that in a bit. But, have some hands-on activities. Our Outdoor Adventure Club, they all get together and they do Dutch oven cooking. And, the kids are involved. It's not Leah and Leon, mixing everything in the bowl or, getting the coals hot and everything. It's the kids actually doing it. We're there for safety precautions, but yes, Lucy gets to do it on her own. She needs. Yeah. So just keep that in mind when you're putting together a club meeting and things like that. We are here to develop life skills. That's important for us. 4-H meetings should be on a regular schedule. I know that Leah has hers the 3rd Tuesday of the month. That probably and could change right now with our situation. I know that archery and air rifle meet every single Tuesday. I can't tell you which Tuesday is which because I get confused.
6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. here at the barn. I know that Priscilla's trying to establish 4th Thursday of the month. I'm not sure if that's 3rd Thursday of the month. So they're kind of trying to establish theirs. I know Troy, you're going to establish yours when we get going. So have that reoccurring meeting. It's hard to keep families and parents engaged when you have a meeting here, and then you have a meeting here, and then you throw it here. So it's kind of hard when we don't have consistency. So make sure we have a reoccurring meeting. Try and have your meetings ran by your youth officers as much as possible. I know sometimes that's not possible, especially when we're talking about, business and things like that. They might not know everything that the leader knows. So but try to have their say-so and have a supportive adult or supervised by an adult. Obviously, we're going to talk about, we're doing the on-track planning right now. We're going to talk about a little bit more of the planning aspect of it towards the end. Make sure it's fun and educational. We want those kids to keep coming back. If you're just standing up here talking the whole time, no one's going to want to come back. So I know you guys are all fun, engaging, so I don't have to worry about that as much, but just keep that in the back of your head. We do like to have educational aspects to every meeting.
If that is some type of safety thing, if that is, a babysitting thing, whatever it is, a gardening, whatever it is at each meeting, we do want to have some education in there. Provide peer support and recognition. Everyone likes to know that they've done a good job, so we don't have to, keep driven every single time we do something, but it is nice to hear, like, Lucy, that's a great sandwich that you made today. Good job. So, and support by positive contact with caring adults. We always want to be caring adults. You guys all are that. I don't have to worry about that, but I have to say it. So we're going to go over parts of a 4-H club meeting. We've got Lily here. This is Lee's daughter. This was one of the first Purcell meetings we had when we were trying to get it off the ground again. We had some turnover and stuff when it came to leaders, and Purcell struggled there for a while, but I think we've got it established thanks to Bernita and Lee and Corinne and everything. So this was at our meeting. We did an engineering night. We've got a kit for it in the back. So she was building something. But you always want to try and have your opening ceremony. And I totally forgot to print that ritual out for all of you. But we kind of go over this little ritual at the beginning. We do our pledges, our 4-H pledge and our American flag pledge. And then we're opening it up to a monthly business meeting. We talk about things that maybe your club has going on at the time. Something that, community service project you guys want to, the leader put together and you guys want to get involved in. Maybe it's county-wide activities and events that you're going to talk about. So those sort of things is what you would talk about in a business meeting. And then we have our educational program that we do. So Leah, how long does your business meeting take usually?
It depends on what's going on. If we have a lot of activities coming up, then it might take a little bit longer, but we try to keep it minimal, no more than about 15 minutes, if at all possible, because the kids check out when it gets too long.
Yeah.
And they want to do the activities, but we do our business meeting right at the very beginning and try to keep it within maybe a 10 or 15 minute thing.
Yeah. And then the rest is educational fun time. So whatever you have planned that day is kind of what fits into that piece of the meeting. You can do speeches and demonstrations. It's always nice to have a kid that comes up. Maybe you don't have your full officer staff, there with you at your meeting, but little Bobby wants to come up and lead the pledge. That's something great. He's got confidence that he can do it. He can speak in front of people, or that's what we're teaching at least. So I know that I've been to some of Leah's meetings where we're talking demonstration contest, and we've got 2 kids that have participated in the contest before, and they come up and they do a demonstration. So just having them come up and kind of talk in front of their peers is something that we definitely want to encourage. I know that that's something that a lot of people take away from 4-H is 4-Hers can speak in front of people, and that's what we want. So those are something you can have at your meeting. And refreshments, sometimes it's right after school. Kids are hungry right after school. Sometimes it falls during dinner time. So I know that Newcastle 4-H usually has pizza at all of their meetings. They've got some money in their account, so Newcastle pays for that. It doesn't come out of our funds. I know that Leah, in their circuit that they do, they usually do a snack, right? So if that's either putting it together or it's already made. At the moment, we're probably going to have already prepackaged type of stuff because of the COVID going on. So maybe when we get back to somewhat normal, we can start having you build your own sandwich or whatever again. But you can have snacks there. That's not a problem. I know that kids like snacks. I would not go full-blown meal every time. I don't think that's necessary. So just keep that in mind. Any questions so far about a meeting, how it runs? Anything? Okay. All right. So we've got responsibilities. I've got a page that I'm going to pass out to you. We're not going to, I know this says role play, but we're not going to do that. I know it says activity unit. We're not going to do that. But this is kind of just so you guys get a little gist of what what people's roles are when it comes to a 4-H club. Obviously, we have our 4-H members. Those are the ones that come and participate in the meetings. And then we have our local club officers. So those are kids that are in the club that have been elected and by their peers, by their 4-H members. So, you know, one night you might have them come up, give a little speech why they want to be Purcell Club president, why they want to be Washington secretary, you know, whatever. They come up, they do their little speech in front of everyone, and then do you guys have a voting night, like where you tally it all up and have the kids vote?
It's at one of our meetings. Our kids will go up and they'll do their speech. If we have 3 candidates, and then we have pass out ballots. They write it on, we count them up, and
Gotcha.
move
So
on.
just a little voting night. That might be something that we do fairly soon. So those are established, and then you can kind of get to know your officers and have them help you start planning meetings or whatever. So those are your club officers. They're the ones that you're going to want your president to get up, introduce themselves, you know, have another officer or whatnot do the pledges, have one read. I think they have to read the ritual and everything. So, you know, that's kind of, they need to assist you. They need to help run the meeting. They need to get that leadership establishment in. And then you have the organizational leaders, which is all of you guys. You guys are all my leaders. You guys are the ones that filled out all the paperwork online and did the background check and got enrolled. So you guys are my leaders. You guys are the ones that established that, yes, I want to take charge of this. I want to be head of this to make sure it all goes smoothly and it runs. So that's you guys. We also have project leaders, and those would be my project club leaders, I guess to say. We've got Brad, we've got Bernita and Leon, and we have Robbie Moore, and those, you know, Tammy, she's a dual one. Leah's a dual one. She runs the Red Deer Rabbit Club. So they're the same. They're just a project club leader. They have to just it's just a different name and a different charter for their club. You've got activity leaders. Maybe you've got a parent one night that steps in and says, "Hey, I want to run one of your circuits. I want to be in charge of whatever you're doing that night." You know, you do have those supporting parents that, you know, don't fill out the paperwork or have filled out the paperwork. We have certified volunteers that aren't leaders. So Kim Nicotine is a good one. I think she's on our Zoom today. She's not officially a leader, but she's there to help with county stuff, with Newcastle Club things. So you've got those parents there to help you out as well. And then you have your team leaders. I've got team leaders at the county level, my officer team. I've got those teams that help with run Cloverbud camp during the summertime. You know, I've got those established. You've got those in your clubs as well. I know that Lucy is, if not an officer, she definitely is a team leader in the Purcell club. So you've got those at your disposal as well. Use them, put them to work, let them know that they are a part of this club as much as anyone else. So, and then you've got your parents and families that'll help you hopefully support and help run the club as well. So this is just a little bit more of a breakdown on here, if that's something that you want to see. Sorry, I don't have that up for the Zoom people, but I kind of went over it. If you want this file or this paper, I'll send it to you guys in an email.
You could add it to their book.
Yes, I can add it to their book. Okay. Any questions, anything so far? Anyone on Zoom? We're good. So the next thing I want to talk about is the 6 steps to successfully planning your 4-H program, your 4-H year, a 4-H meeting, whatever that might be. You need to obviously study the situation. What are you doing? What is it? A certain month that Johnny Appleseed month. I know that Sharon has done a Johnny Appleseed month at her club meeting. She's brought in apples. They learn to cut apples. They learn about apples. You know, how to grow an apple tree or whatever it might be. So know kind of if that's something that you're interested in doing. You know, it's National 4-H month this month. We've got national, or in October, I guess. We've got National 4-H week coming up. So you can do a pastime on your 4-H alum. You can bring in some alum that you might know, have them kind of share their story, how 4-H, you know, helped them grow to who they are now. That's something that's kind of cool and neat for the kids to see. Establish some goals that you might want to have for the year. We're going to go over that a little bit today. I've talked to some leaders and they kind of feel that we all should kind of be on the same circuit of things throughout the year, and I feel the same way. So no one's left out in the dark or whatnot. So we're going to establish our own goals for the year in a little bit. So it's nice to always just have a list of activities, you know, things that you know that you can do, or you have someone in your group that can do. Just list those activities out and then you can weed them out later on. We're going to go through that later on today. Choose the best activities for whatever meeting you're doing. Contact resources for educational programs. That's something huge. I try to do that a lot because you guys and the kids don't always want to hear me talk. I understand that, I get it, and I don't always want to either. So Purcell did something amazing the other night, and I'm going to brag on them for a minute. And this is something y'all can maybe talk to them about if it's something interesting. But they knew of the game warden, and they knew that COVID had hit, and so they still wanted to have a meeting. What did they do? They went out to the Purcell Lake over here, and they invited the game warden to see what night would be good for him, and to see if he could come out and teach them how to fish. So they were using their resources, using people they know, and establishing those connections in the community, and having a really fun, interactive time with the kids. And it was outside, so the kids didn't have to feel like they were cooped up wearing a mask and whatnot. So use those things to your advantage. Those people that you know, use those connections. It might have turned someone's mind around in the Purcell meeting that, hey, I want to be a game warden when I grow up. This is an awesome career. So use those things at your disposal. Complete a master calendar. I know that Leah and Ryan have done that. Coming back from certain events and activities, they just write everything down. They're like, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And I got my year plan. And it's kind of nice doing that, so then you're not struggling every single month saying, oh my gosh, I gotta sit down and plan this. If you just get it done, bust it out, you have a plan, you know what you're gonna need. You can come to me if you need resources, you know, I can purchase some things for you guys, so don't feel that you're in the dark on that. We are gonna plan some things today, so hopefully we'll have that master calendar done by the end of the day. Some good practices to keep in mind and kind of remember. We want at least 5 youth members from 2 different families, as you'll see on the next slide, to keep a charter going. Or to start a new club, to charter a new club. That is one of the requirements. So I know that we were trying an alpaca club when I first started here. It was awesome and great, but we did not have 5 youth members from 2 or more families participating, so we could not officially charter the club. So if you want to start a new club, if you're interested in that, that's kind of a protocol you need, and it's nice to kind of keep that going when we have our established groups already. So keep that in mind. Obviously, you have to have certified volunteers. It's required of me to have so many certified volunteers for that club. And if you've done your working with minors, it's okay if you haven't. Please get those done though. I've got some paperwork on that I can give to you if you need to know how to do it. But there are certain requirements for how many youth per adult, depending on age and things as such. So keep that in mind. You're going to need volunteers and that being certified. And I touched the next one, appropriate adult to youth ratio. Those are in the Title IX, the Working with Minors training that you have to do. Obviously, you don't want to have, a kid riding with you alone in a vehicle. That is not appropriate adult to youth ratio. I won't go into working with minors, so that's up to you guys. But members have shared responsibilities for making decisions and operating the club. We've kind of already talked about that. It's a great practice to keep going. And an organization or organized, fun, and educational programs planned by members, volunteers, and parents. So we kind of touched on that earlier too, but just keep those in mind when having your meeting. And to continue the good practices, so you want to at least have, and it's part of your chartering as well, at least 6 or more meetings a year. You can potentially lose your charter if you do not follow that rule. So keep that in mind when you guys are scheduling meetings. I know at this moment, things are up in the air. So it's not going to be super enforced this year just because of everything we're going through. But in a normal year, you need to have at least 6 or more meetings. Learning experiences outside of your local club. Sometimes that's hard to do, sometimes it's not hard to do. We're going to go over how to do that in a little bit. I got some paper I'm going to talk to you about in your folders. Obviously, you want to have an established involvement in the community. I know that Purcell has done different things for the community here as opposed to what Belanger does up there. Community service projects are big in 4-H. That's one of our pillars that we like to touch on. So if you can establish a good community service project in your community, it doesn't have to be all the time. I know that we've done cookie appreciation where we just bake cookies and we take it to our donors, people that support us. So it doesn't have to be all out, elaborate, that sort of thing. But just make sure you have those good community ties. Personal evaluation and recognition for progress on individuals and group goals. So that kind of touches on, I'm supposed to have, every year I'm supposed to do like a one-on-one sit down with you, kind of talk to you about how things are going, that sort of thing. So when June, July-ish rolls around, I'm going to be contacting you guys either for a face-to-face meeting or whatnot to talk about you know, did you reach your goals this year? Did you have your meetings? What are you struggling with? What can you help with? That sort of thing. We're going to do that for you as a volunteer and as a club leader. And then we can kind of assess your club and things that you might want need help with when it comes to club planning and things like that. And then all 5 components of the 4-H recognition model, we'll go over that later. So those are just some things to keep in mind. So here's the stuff that I talked about to maintain a club charter. So you need to have a monthly 4-H planning guides, which they're in the back of your book and we're going to kind of talk about later. I've got some up here. We're going to talk about this.
Can we ask a question?
Yes.
So the one-on-one meeting, it says personal evaluation. So what exactly is that an evaluation of? Is it for you or of you or just kind of a touchy-feely kind of thing?
It's kind of all of that. So thank you, Kim, for asking about that. Because in past, I might not have to touch base with everyone. So yeah, it's kind of a touch base, seeing how you feel as, you know, a leader or a volunteer, you know, things that maybe I can improve on, or, you know, if you're having problems in a situation, we can kind of talk about and address that. Or it could be, you know, we talk about, hey, you know, I'd really like to see our club do this. How can you help me with this? Or how can we establish this? Is there someone else we can work with? You know, just things like that. Just to kind of touch base and see what's going on, how things are going. If you want to continue, you know, being a leader or everything volunteer. So does that answer your question, Kim? Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you for that, Kim. Okay, so maintain the club charter. We kind of hit on this already. You've got to have your monthly meetings. You have to have at least those, what was it, 5 kids from 2 different families. Actively recruit 4-Hers and volunteers. So that's something that I've kind of struggled with, and I know others have struggled with. How do we go about recruiting? How do we go about that sort of stuff? So we'll talk about that later, but I kind of talked about it a little bit with Troy already. I've got some flyers up here that you guys can have put around your community. I gave Troy some, and then I also have some flyers, some brochures that you can stick at schools. If you're going to be out somewhere, you know, Tractor Supply Day is a great example. I can get these out at Tractor Supply Day, you know, things like that. So if you're doing things in the community, you can have a booth somewhere, that would be great. I know a lot of schools this year are not doing back to school nights, but usually back to school nights would be a great place for these things and have a little booth. So we can use things like that. I've got great marketing materials that we can use. So I'll pass those out later today. But we need to be actively recruiting and looking for those kids and those opportunities. End of the year report for club activities, that's something that I've struggled with in the past. Kind of touching base with each of you guys and saying, hey, how's your club going? You know, the same thing about talking about evaluations for volunteers. So that kind of runs hand in hand. Annual financial accounting. So we've touched on this a couple years ago, and we've continued it from there, but each club needs to establish a budget. I know some clubs have money, some clubs don't. In your binder, you'll see in the little pocket area in the front, that is your finances for as of right now. I gave you guys archery, right? Leah, if you want Rabbit Club, I've got it up here. So some people have money, some people don't. It kind of comes with the territory if you're just getting into this position. I think you guys have a little bit there. It kind of goes off of your own club's fundraisers. So I'm going to throw Newcastle on blast. They have a great fundraiser, and they get money for it, and they've got money for their club. So one of the things that they establish every year is things that they're going to pay for registrations and such for their kids and for their members. So that is something that I'm going to have again from them this year. They're going to sit down with their officers and some of their parents and leaders, and they're going to establish a budget. And we're going to pay for summer camp. We're going to pay for roundup, things like that. They're going to pay for if we go, if we do something else during the summer or the year, where some don't have that. And we can establish some fundraisers that we can do for you guys. We can talk about that later, but I will need a budget, a financial report from you at the beginning when you meet with everyone, and things like that, things that, activities that you want to do throughout the year that might take money. So I will have to have that from everyone, and that's something that I'll have to have on file. Regular enrollment process, we've already been through the enrollment process right now. It is open all year round, so if you have a new kid that finds out about 4-H and wants to join, just refer them either to me or go to 4-H online and they can register and sign up. It's a bit tricky sometimes, so that's the process. And then have local parents, volunteers participate in continuing education, which you guys are doing right now, so I applaud you for that. So that's kind of how we want to maintain our clubs and our charters and whatnot. So any questions on that part of it? I'm almost done. This is my last portion of this. It's kind of new, and I've got a handout for y'all in here. This came from the 4-H state office. This is how we want to run 4-H with COVID. This establishes some rules and regulations that we have to go through. Obviously, we want to follow our best practices of staying 6 feet away, having your mask, washing your hands all the time. I have hand sanitizer back at the door over there. Our office is equipped with hand sanitizer now. If you are having a meeting, if you need hand sanitizer, please come to me. We've got that stuff. So just making sure that you follow your rules and everything. We will, and I'm going to be super strict on this year just because if something does happen, it's my duty on the line. But usually at every meeting, everyone has a sign-in sheet. That's usually standard. In your book, I have printed out 12 sign-in sheets that you can have. It's in your book somewhere. I need you to have everyone that's at that meeting sign those papers. I need their name, and I don't have to have their email. Usually I have their email anyway, so they don't need to fill out the email part. But I would like to have their race and ethnicity and all that stuff that's on there. But the reason we talk really highly about having a sign-in sheet is because if Lee comes to me and says, hey, Lily caught COVID and the only place we've been is 4-H meeting, I need to know who I need to get into contact with. who was at that meeting. So I'm really going to be strict on those this year. And I also need those in my files and my references. So if you have a meeting, take a picture of those, email them to me, send them to me, text them to me, get them to me, hard copy, whatever you want. I have to have those on file for my civil rights stuff. So that is something that I really wanted to point out to you all. And when it comes to meetings this year, we're gonna have to think outside the box where we hold our meetings and such. So if we have to start having meetings in the park, or schools aren't allowing us to have meetings, so maybe church, or maybe parking lots, or whatever we can do this year to keep our engagement. We can do Zooms. I got a Zoom account. I can have at least 300 people on my account. So let me know if we're going to start doing some Zoom meetings. I can get all a hold of that. But so just go over this. There's some things in here. When we're talking about wiping things down, should we have food at our meetings? It's in here. So this came down from the state 4-H office. This is not my rules. This is all of our rules. So please go over this. Please have this in mind when we are having meetings. And I have to keep this in mind as well. So there's the last piece of it. So that's my presentation. Do we have any questions? Anybody have questions, concerns, comments? Okay. So next. I have something up on here that I was going to start sharing this on. What else did I have up?
Well, I thought I did. Oh, it was in here. Oh, I was just gonna have you share that, but we went over that, so we are good now. Yeah, that's true. So, okay.
So I'm going to go over everything that is in your packet. People online, I will bring it over to the camera and show you. Like I said, your financials are right here in this. For those that aren't here, I'll get your financials emailed to you so you guys can have take a look at that. So the first thing in your book is going to be the crisis management plan. This is if something happens at your meeting and you need to get a hold of me. We have a whole chain of commands that we have to go through when it comes to 4-H meetings and protocol that I have to follow. So if something happens at your meeting, I'm your first call. Unless it's a 911 emergency, 911 is your first call. So which is in here. I have written our phone numbers in here. So if you need to get a hold of me, my cell phone number is in here if you don't already have it. Our office number is in here. If it's during office business hours, call the office. Either I will be there. We've got Laura, the secretary, is there, and then we've got Justin, our CED, who runs the office, so he'll be there. So my cell phone number is in here. The county extension director, which is Justin, his cell phone number is in here. If you can't get a hold of me, please call him. But usually I'm here to take calls at most of the time of the day. And then from there, I have to use chain of command, so it's from there, it's what I have to do. But for any reason you need to call the district office phone numbers are on there. So that sort of thing. But please call 911 first if it's an actual emergency. The next thing in here is an incident accident form. So say Lucy twirled around and touched her toes and then decided to shoot a bow and arrow, and the arrow went right through Duke Moore's foot. That would not be good. But so we're going to have to fill out an incident report for that. Please use this at your discrepancy. If I cut my finger at a meeting, I don't necessarily need to write an incident form, I don't think, on that. So, but obviously, if somebody breaks their bone and slips and falls, it's winter and someone slips and falls on the ice, you definitely need to have an incident form filled out about that. So those are in your packet as well. If you need more, please get a hold of me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just doing definitions here. There is a difference between an incident and an accident. So the examples that you gave are more of an accident
True.
than an incident.
Okay, I will give an incident. You're right. But I have an incident that happened my first year here. We went to Roundup and I had a kid run and jump on the ledge and try to scare the kids on the other side of the window, and his belt buckle hit the window and shattered it at campus. That is an accident. It's not, he accidentally did it. No one was hurt, but I did have to fill one of these out when we were at Roundup. It was a huge deal. It was very embarrassing. It was my first year, but Lucy was there. She remembers that. So I had to fill out an incident report. So if it's something like that, please fill it out. Thank you, Leah, for shouting that out. So we have record of that if anything were to go wrong. But that being said, you are covered under the 4-H umbrella when it comes to insurance and liability. We've got you covered on our big things. We do take out an extra insurance policy. So when Brad goes on his hikes and whatnot, I take out an extra policy on him. When I have Clipperbud Camp, I take an extra policy out on that. So things like that, we've got coverage. Don't worry about it. But we have to have an incident form filled out, and it needs to be on my records as well as your records. So if you have to do it, send it to me, please. Let me know about it. And then next, I have an activity and event intent form. So usually I don't have very many of these on file. Brad's given me a few when he goes on his hikes. This is kind of if you're going to have something out of the normal for your meeting. Say that we have everything planned and then Lee and Corinne decide that, you know what, we just caught a red hair and we want to go to the lake at one day, down in, Grand Lake up in, they want to take everyone up there. It's kind of random. It doesn't fit with their normal schedule. So they're going to need to fill out an activity and intent form and give it to me and have it on file. Not saying that you can't do that, but I have to have record of it. So if Leon decides that one day he's going to take everyone to somewhere up in Oklahoma City and do something with his archery, and that is out of the norm for him. He didn't establish that at the beginning of the year when we had plans. He needs to fill out this. So it's not a big deal. Sometimes our horse club decides they're going to go on a trail ride. That's not part of their monthly Monday meetings. So I need to have this on file. So those are just examples. And I have to just send it to me. And then the next thing in here, we kind of already talked about, it's our attendance record. Everyone has probably seen this. It's actually up front up there. If you haven't signed it, you can sign it before you leave. But some parents and kids don't like to fill this part out over here. I have to have this for civil rights. And so please have that filled out for me if possible. But again, I have to have this, especially if COVID breaks out at a meeting or such. I have to know who to contact. So those are important. Last but not least in here is the monthly 4-H meeting planning guide. We're going to be working on this today. I have most of my leaders here. If they're not on Zoom, they're here. And we're kind of going to talk about what we want planned out for the year. But these are the monthly planning notes that I need to have with me. So the 3 things you need to turn into me every month is a meeting planning guide, your attendance sheet, and an agenda. Usually everyone has an agenda at each meeting that they pass out. If you don't, get with me. I've got some templates you can have and use, and it doesn't have to be super detailed. I've gotten ones that say business meeting, and then we're going to have our monthly activity and things like that. So I don't have to have it word for word what you are planning on doing every second of your meeting, just kind of a general overall that you can pass out to your kids and they know what to follow and what's going on. And that's kind of all I put in your book. I'm looking at time here. So, any questions, comments,
I have a
concerns?
question.
Yes.
I have to find it now, though. Our district
Yes.
program person.
Yes.
Where was it?
We don't have
We don't
one
have
at
one
the
yet?
moment.
Okay.
Greg and Becky kind of are taking that on as a dual thing when it comes to events and activities, but as for emergencies, I would call Claude. He's our district director. We don't have a Cheryl anymore or a Kim anymore to call.
Is that the phone number?
Yes, that is the phone number for their office.
Which one? Claude's?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's Claude's. So he's our district director. He's my boss. I contact him if I have any super big major problems, which usually, knock on wood, we don't have any in our county very often. I'm proud about that. So anything else? Questions, concerns, anything about the book? Good. Okay. Any questions on our Zoom? I think we're good there. Is there stuff in the chat?
There's a few things in the chat. Let's check that out. Perfect. Ooh, good question, Kim. Incident report would be good if someone non-4-H shows up and is angry and disrupts, then leaves.
So I am going to touch a little bit on that. If you have a meeting and you know that someone is there and you don't know them, you don't have record of them, they haven't been to your meeting. I understand that some people just want to kind of come and see what it all is all about before they enroll. That is fine, but if they're constantly coming to a meeting and you know for a fact they're not enrolled, that's a problem. We do have rules and regulations and health forms that need to be filled out and that sort of thing. So if you know of someone that keeps coming and is not enrolled, please say something to either me or them. Shoot them an email or a text message and say, hey, I noticed you're not enrolled. Here's the website. Please go and enroll. It keeps track of everyone. You've got their email. I've got their email. We know who they are. We know who emergency contact is if something happens. So please note if one of your kids is not enrolled. That being said, I was going to roll into my next thing, which is 4-H Online. Yesterday, Laura and I have made sure that every club leader and project club leader has access through 4-H Online to their members. So that being said, we have officially put, when you log in to your 4-H Online account, I was going to bring this up.
Leah, do you mind if I use your account since you're sitting here? Okay. Okay. Well, then we're gonna do this. 4-H Online, and I'm gonna share this with everyone. No, you're good for now because I'm gonna have to have you log in. Okay. So, oh, nobody here can see this. I will pull it up on my laptop. Okay. So let me share this really quick with everyone online. I'm gonna share this. Okay. So I'm gonna have Leah. This. Screen so you guys can see it too. Okay. Leah, can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Can we pull this back a little bit, the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull you back too. And I'm doing this because I don't have, I can't see what you guys see on your end of things. Almost there. Thanks, Leah. Okay. Okay, so we should be able to see the screen. We should be able to see this here. Takes a minute. Okay, Leah. Do you want me to walk you through this or do you want me to do it?
I don't care.
Down. Oh no, I don't know that I can do this. Can you guys still see the screen? I know you guys can, but I'm gonna make this bigger.
You can.
Okay, good.
Now we can.
Okay, Brad said that they can see my screen.
It went away, Alex.
Oh, it went away. Okay.
Just like up there on the,
Let's share this one. And then I can grab this.
you got your Windows screen.
Can you see Google now, Brad?
We do. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have you log into this again. And I'm gonna have you look up there too. I'm sorry. This is really difficult. We might really have to move this like over there. Will you grab the camera? Or here, I'll grab the camera and you can just scoot this. They don't necessarily need to see me.
What if I turn this around so I can
Yes,
see that?
that
screen?
works. And you can be closer if you need to. Keep going down.
I can't even.
Okay, so Leah is logging in to her 4-H Online account. I know some of you guys have already done this, but this is super, super helpful to you. Come like 2 nights before your meeting and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to send out a reminder to everyone. And instead of calling me, you can go through this. So this is what happens when you log in. Scroll down, Leah.
I can't see that.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
Bernita, do you usually just go to, wait, go down. Club leader login. So if you scroll all the way down, okay, so you're gonna have 2 options here. At the top, you see that there is continue to family, which is this orange button right here. That would take you to your family profile. You can sit down if you want. Okay, where you put your information in for your stuff and your kids. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see this club leader login. So Leah here is Leah Haxton. It will obviously be your name. You can click that. She is on 2 clubs because she does the Rabbit Club and she does the Blanchard Club. So she can click Blanchard, and then everyone's password is going to be, so her password is Blanchard 4-H. So capital B, no dash in the 4-H, and a capital H for 4-H. So Purcell is going to be Purcell 4-H. Washington is Washington 4-H. So we will, I think I'm in there.
What about the project clubs, Alex?
Oh, Brad, yours is outdoor 4-H. I couldn't do MOA 4-H. It was too short. And then the Rabbit Club is Rabbit 4-H. And then archery is archery 4-H. Air rifle is air rifle 4-H with the 2 R's. So you guys should all have access to all that. And so, okay. And so we have given you access to your everything else. So if you push log in, it will come up as this. I'm trying to see what this even says. I don't have this access to see anything, so this is new to me as well as you guys. So we can see that right now the members in her club is Haley Haxton and Hunter Haxton. So it looks like they're active, or they're pending right now because we have not sent your check up to the state 4-H office. Pending is okay. So if you have kids that are pending, it's okay. If you have kids that are active, they will say active on there. But, and I'm wondering if that's because those are your kids.
Maybe. Let's go to just members then.
Yes. So you can click members at the top. Okay,
Here we go.
So these are all Blanchard's active
members. So she can scroll down and see all of them. They say they're in Blanchard Club, they are active, and there's their 4-H age, their gender, and then their names. So you have access to all of that. You can see who's in your club, who's active. I don't know if any of them are pending. You can see in there. Do those look familiar? Yeah. Okay. You've got your adults and youth. So like Rayanne is in there. She is the co-leader for Blanchard. So all Project Club members should be able to see who they have in their clubs as well. So right here is a cool little feature. It says email list, or yeah, email something. So if you click, I need to right click that. So if you click that button, it brings all their emails up. So you can either copy and paste this into an email, and it brings their family emails up. So it's not gonna, if you have, like my Spurlock kids, there's 5 or 6 of them. I think 3 of them are enrolled. It's not gonna send that email to her 3 times. It's just gonna take all the family emails and send it to that family email. So whatever you put as your email on your 4-H login is the email it's going to. So keep that in mind. So you can copy and paste all of these into your email and send an email. Hey, we're having a meeting, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of nice. You can do different reports, maybe not. I know in mine I can. This is search. So you can search through here. If you know someone's email, you can put an email in there and search it. If you want to figure out who all is active and maybe a volunteer, you can see those, and then you can email those. You can flag different people over here. I use that for certain things. You don't have to, but that's kind of how you log in all your members that you have. Some of these say pending. That is okay. There's 2 different levels of pending when it comes to paying and stuff. They could be in level 1 if they haven't paid, and level 2 if they have paid, but their check has not gone from our office to the state office. We have to, your guys' checks will be deposited into our bank account, and then we have to write a general check from our office to the state office. So that is that. Does anybody have any questions on any of this? How this functions?
This is Corinne. I do, if no one else.
Okay, yes. What do you got, Corinne?
Back on the confirm, where you can confirm members and look at members, and I may have missed it because I have kiddo here. On the confirm members, is that something we need to confirm, or we're just waiting on?
No, you're waiting on us to do that.
Okay.
And Leah has access to these because these are her own children on here.
Yeah, I have 2 waiting that I'm showing that show up under the confirm members.
Okay. And that is something, if you are concerned about that, if you know that if you're not sure if they've paid or not, you can always just shoot me a message or call us, and we can check on our end of things. You guys do not have to worry about confirming anything.
Okay, because it was 2 and they showed up to the meeting the other night, so I just didn't know what.
I gotcha.
Are they meeting? Okay. Are they members or not?
I gotcha. Perfect.
Okay.
So yes, in this confirm members, I've got that on my screen as well. So those are the only 2 it looks like in Blanchard that are pending at the moment, and that is fine. They are officially members. It's not a big deal. The 4-H leaders. Yeah. Oh, the 4-H leaders kids, right? So everybody's is going to be different. You all have different kids. If you know of a kid that is coming to your meetings and is not showing up in your enrollment here, that probably is because when they did their enrollment, they have the option of putting a primary club, and they can put any of the clubs that we have chartered. So say that Lily just signed up, and Lee is doing her stuff, and Lily officially wanted to start because she wanted to be in the Rabbit Club. So she put the Rabbit Club as her primary, but she's also coming to 4-H or to Purcell 4-H. We can, if you notice that in your enrollment that, Lily is coming to your meetings, but she's not showing up on here, I can fix that. Just give me a call at the office and we can fix that. So some people do have archery as their primary. So you guys might have that and they might not be in Blanchard's because that's not their primary. But we can add them to different groups. So if they're a part of MOA, Rabbit Club, Archery, and Purcell, I can put them in all of those and they will show up in all those. So if you're noticing a kid that is coming and not showing up in your 4-H online, give me a holler and we will fix that. So
Can we print this page?
yes,
To have the meetings.
yes, you just push print.
Okay.
Yes, right click and print it. I don't think there is another way to do that, but if you right click and print, you can print all this. I want to say,
And at archery and air rifle, we always try, like, sometimes the youth show up just for that. So I'll ask them where they live and I'll talk to them about the club and tell them to look into it if they're interested. And
gotcha.
I usually try to sell them on just about everything we do.
Perfect. So this is an easy way for you to have access to your members, but make sure you have to scroll to the bottom of that first page when you first log in to log into your as a club leader. If you go through your parent, go to your family, it won't work like this. So it'll be completely different. If you have any questions or concerns about this, I can help you. Laura at the office can help you. She's really good on 4-H online. Corinne, is your hand raised or is that from before? I can't tell.
That was before. That was my question.
Gotcha. You're good. Okay. So does anybody else have any questions or concerns about this? We can always go over it later. Oh, one thing I will show you on this. Leah, I'm going to log out of this. And can you sign back into your thing? I'm going to show everyone how to get those trainings. And I've got a piece of paper on it too. That'll walk you through it. So go to your family, continue as a family member. So I'm going to show you guys how that you guys can log into your trainings that are required. Okay. Scroll down. Oh goodness, yours looks so different than mine.
Okay. Hold on. I go to edit.
Okay, click edit. Yes. And then
And
at
then-
the top that says trainings, you'll click that and it looks like Leah has completed her online training for both of the required. Good job, Leah. For both of the required trainings that you guys are supposed to have. If you do not have those trainings yet, it won't look like that. It will say
There's a sign up for
Yes.
training right here, and you
you'll
can
have to
go
click
in there.
that. Sign up for training.
It's gone.
And they will pop it. They'll pop up down there, and then you can click into them from there. I think you've got yours done right. I don't know about you two. So that's how you can go into your trainings. I think I went into Troy's and I pushed. I signed you up for them, so they will be on that front page that Leah had up.
I'll look this up this afternoon.
Okay, so Troy, yours will be up like this. It'll just say incomplete on these instead of complete. So this is how I can actually log in and see who's completed, who hasn't completed. It's all online. It's a tutorial. If you can't figure it out, give me a holler. But that's how you sign up for trainings. And then after today, I can go in and I can say that you guys have all been to a training today. So that will go in your profile as well. So you don't have to worry about doing any of that. These are the only two ones that will be in your profile that you'll need to do. But that's how you sign up for training. And that's through your family account, not your leader account. So those are two kind of different things.
If you've never done it before, there is a test or a quiz at the end.
Yes.
You have to make 80% to pass the thing.
Yeah, 'cause
But you
otherwise
can
get
always go
watch
back
it
and
again.
do it again.
Yes.
Okay, so the first year that we had to do this, Hunter and I was in a competition, and we passed the first time. He made a 95, and I just made like an 85 or something. So of course I did it again so I could do it 100% to prove to him that I was better. He doesn't know that I did that the first time, but
Yes. So that's a good point. Yes, you can redo it until you pass it. I've even gotten below an 80 before. I'll throw that out there, but you can, because I have to do the same training as you guys do.
you can only miss 2 questions. I think that's what it is. I
Yeah,
think
there's
they're
only
10
10
points.
questions.
You know, they're 10 points. So,
Mhm.
I mean, if you miss 2, and it's easy because in one of those, they talk about the incident and accident, and that's one that used to throw me quite a bit.
Yeah, so they will talk about those forms that I gave you in there, and it goes into detail about more about them in your training. But yeah, they throw you for some loops in some of those questions. They're all multiple choice, but that is something that everyone needs to get done before their first meeting if possible. But if you need help figuring this out, I do have a piece of paper up here that walks you through every single step, so I can give that to everyone. So that's kind of a little bit tutorial about 4-H online. So the next part, this is going to kind of be Leah ran, because this was Leah's amazing idea as Booster Club president. And for those that are on our Zoom and are here, we're going to kind of be going over how and what to plan for club meetings this year. So Leah and Rayanne, her co-leader, have come up with this awesome idea of 4-H in a box. I'm going to have her talk about that. And then we're just going to have like a little planning meeting. It's just going to all be all of us just kind of sitting around spitting balling ideas for the next 45-ish minutes. And then you guys can, if you come up with something amazing, fill out those little plan things in your book and we can get going from there. So I'm going to unplug all of this from the TV and we can kind of, I'll put the computer over here. So I'll turn the lights on so everyone on here can be a part of our little planning group. So, Leah, do you want to take us away with whatever? I think I'm going to move this over to where they can see all of us. You don't have to sit by the computer anymore. I'll handle it if you want.
Okay. So, and I know some of you that are online have more of a project club. So I don't know what Alex's, I'm just saying we're going to kind of discuss some
Project club
different,
people can, if they need to log off,
if you
they
need to
can.
log off, you can, is kind of
You'll
what I
get
was
credit
thinking.
for the 2 hours, I promise.
But I know in Blanchard, we do not have a place to meet at the moment. So we have not had that meeting. So Rayanne and I were really trying to think outside the box as to what we could do to still give these kids some activities or keeping them engaged and still consider having a meeting of some sort. Not to say that I couldn't hold a meeting at my house, but there is possibly some liability to that as well. And so I'm still kind of tossing that. I'd like to say that the COVID issue has not been bad in Blanchard, but I think as schools becoming more engaged and in session, that I know that those rates are going up. Rayanne and I both work at a school, so I kind of feel like we're right there in the middle of the Petri dish at times. And at our school, we do have to wear masks at all times, unless students are out on the playground, and then that's a little bit different. We have quite a few kids that are going online. What happens when we bring them back? If they're going to come back, I know several that are not coming. And so we are in a different environment right now. So it's kind of getting us all, and I've been working with some other volunteer groups. I am on the state volunteer board, and Tammy and I are representing Oklahoma with the Southern State Volunteer Conference as well. And so, we're kind of grabbing some ideas from really kind of all over. Some other states, what they're doing, they're in the same predicament that we are. And Oklahoma, we have schools open right now. There are some states right now that they don't have kids going to school. So just kind of thinking outside the box. So Rayanne and I were thinking of possibly coming up with some activities that we could put, working with the county office, of putting some activities into a box once a month. Maybe these kids can pick them up from us, get their box, and this might be an opportunity for our county officers as well as our ambassadors too, to maybe once a month do a Zoom meeting with all the kids in the county that kind of does their own little meeting on Zoom, goes over the box as to what activities are in there that they could do at home. This is just a thought. Now, I think it's great that Purcell went to go fishing. I wish I was invited. I think that sounds great. I don't have a lake near us, so our kids would have to come to Purcell, and I don't know how doable that is, or if we would have a good turnout if we did that all the time to meet in Purcell. So we have a lot of activities in our closet that I thought maybe we could do if we wanted to do sewing, maybe a focus one year. And yes, boys can sew. They need to learn how to sew a button on or things like that. Maybe it is a healthy living type thing or an outdoor type project, or, you know, Lucy can come up and she can do an archery demonstration for them from, you know, her backyard. Maybe this is a focal point that we can kind of help do that. This is just an idea. So if one of us is doing it, didn't know if maybe it would be something that the other clubs might want to do. You could still have your club meetings, but we could still do the box thing as a county thing for those kids to do too. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking outside the box, trying to figure out what we need to do for our kids. I don't know if Newcastle's club is in the same situation. If they can still meet at the library, that's where theirs is at. I know some of the places are not having large groups in their community rooms. So just throwing that out there, we can sit down and kind of look at things. I know October is National 4-H Week.
Which I was going to touch on too.
And so I have not contacted our library. I know in the past we've been able to do displays in the library. I know some places are not letting people do that. So I need to contact my library and see, or if there's a window downtown, if we're going to still do windows.
Can I interject really quick?
Go right
Okay,
ahead.
so for those that are new, every October we have National 4-H Week. Can you pass this on? This came down from the state office. I'm actually very proud of this little document because McLean County is mentioned 3 times in here from our National 4-H Week last year. And I'm going to see if I can pull this up for Corinne and everyone, Brad and Sharon and everyone and Kim and on this. If not, I will just have someone hold it up to the screen. Let me go to... But I'm super excited about for National 4-H Week this year. We hit the ground running last year when it came to National 4-H Week. I'm trying to pull it up, people online. And I was super proud of us because our club leaders came together and worked really well with this. And so did our officer team. I'm very proud of them as well. And so, this is just kind of, it came down from national or from the state office and sure, okay, I'm trying to bring this up. Go to my National 4-H Week. What's this? I'm going to share the screen. Where's my Zoom? Not that one, the other Zoom. This one, share screen, and I'm going to share this National 4-H Week screen with y'all. Okay, so do you guys see this, Corinne? Do you see this? Thumbs up if you see it.
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the thing that came down from National 4-H Week. It's from October 4th to the 10th. We usually... Sharon, I'll get to that in the text box in just a minute. So National 4-H Week is every October. Last year, as you can see
on a couple pages, you can see kind of some pictures of what some people did. McLean County is mentioned here and twice, so I'm super excited. The one on the left-hand side, that is, looks like Haley and Annabelle. They put up 4-H in a window in their school, and I think that window faces the highway, so I think that's why they did it. They're trying to get 4-H out and about, and that's kind of what we do here in McLean County for National 4-H Week. We want everyone to know about it. So sometimes we have people decorate windows in the community, either painting them if they allow it, or I know that Blanchard one year, they just did a huge display in the window and at a local store. And then Newcastle does it at their library. They give them this whole glass case thing at the library, and they fill it with 4-H fair projects and pictures and jackets and just lots of 4-H emblems and whatnot. And then I know that the picture on here on the right hand side, it's a poster. It says "Become a True Leader." That actually Gracie Osborne adopted Washington last year, since they didn't have a leader, and that board, and there's some, if you can see kind of in front of it, there's some brochures and handbooks and stuff. We put that as a display at the Washington feed store. And so people coming in, they said that people walked in and they saw it and they kind of asked about it, and it was a free-for-all on the grabbing the papers and things like that. So we just try to get 4-H out there any way possible. And so this document came down from the state office, and it kind of gives some ideas to help spread the word. You know, we are gonna this year schedule a proclamation with our county commissioners. There you go. So Lucy, I have not told you this yet, but I'm hoping you can take off of school a little bit, and Hunter too, because I want those two. Lucy, as most people know, Lucy Wilson is my president. She's here with us today. She's our county president. And then Hunter Haxon, which is Leah's son, is our state 4-H president. So I'm going to schedule a proclamation on Monday I will look that up because I don't have my calendar with me. And we're going to meet with the commissioners. We're going to have them sign the proclamation. And then I'm going to put that in all the papers I can get it in and get that out. We've never done that here since I've been here. So that's going to be new for us. But just anything to kind of help spread the word about National 4-H Week. They give some tips in here on different things that you can do to help spread the word, ideas. So that might be something we want to go over a bit today in our planning. This year's, I'm going to scroll up for everyone on here since they don't have it. If you look on the first page right down here, it says "Time to Celebrate." They actually have a theme for this week. It's Opportunity for All. So that is kind of everyone nationally across the United States is going to be participating in this Opportunity for All during the week of October. So we kind of want to go off of something about that, and we're going to talk about this more on Monday at our Booster Club and County Officer meeting. So we don't have to necessarily touch on this today, but maybe just to start generating ideas and whatnot. Kind of think of something that we can do Opportunity for All when it comes to this stuff. And October 7th, the Wednesday of National 4-H Week, they're doing a National 4-H Spirit Day. And so they want you to wear all the green that you can. I usually run a social media campaign during this time, which it touches on the end of the second page into the third page, which is, again, where we are kind of brought up in one of the posts that I made last year. On social media. So I know that Sharon and Leah and Bernita have texted me pictures. If the kids can't do it, parents can do it. You can tag us on Facebook, Instagram, shoot me the pictures. I tried to blast them all over Facebook and social media and Instagram and stuff last year. That was kind of something that we had going on. The officers wanted to do that. So this is one of our posts on that third page. This is kind of third page in the packet. I have it up on the screen here. This is kind of something, this is a post that I made last year. Everybody has their own Facebook pages. So if you can blast things on your Facebook page, I can share them to our Facebook page. We don't have to do Facebook. If you don't have it, that's fine. Text it to me or send it to me in an email and I will blast it for you. So there's certain hashtags in here that they want us to use if you are doing social media. So you can read over that. But one thing that I think is pretty cool, I'm in the next page is a press release, which I'm going to be sending out to, I'm going to modify this to make it to more suit our county, but I'm going to throw this out to the papers, newspapers. If you have kids, I know Lucy did an amazing job last year. Lucy sent, as she was our president last year, she sent out an article and it was amazing. And I think they actually interviewed you, right? Yeah, the paper. Okay. Okay, so for those that can't hear on the Zoom, Lucy said that the newspaper in Purcell, they interviewed her and they actually put her on the front page last year. And then all of the other newspapers in our county had an article written from her in it. So if you have a kid that, has a really awesome 4-H project going on, write about them. Have your secretary or reporter in your club write about them, or have them write something and put it to the paper. Lucy talked about her shooting sports. She's an archery girl. She talked about it. So if that's something that generates, publicity for us, and I can get anything into the paper for free. So if you don't have the paper contact, write something, send it to me, and I'll blast it out there. So that's kind of cool. That's something that Lucy did for us last year. This is the proclamation on the next page, which I'm going to do. And then this last page here. For those that don't know, we actually have a radio station down in Lindsay. I know that Lindsay is not in our county, but the radio station broadcasts over our county. So I've actually taken Hunter down to the radio station, and we've actually recorded some PSAs that they put on their station. So here's some PSAs. If maybe of another station you can get into that does touch McLean County, that would be great. There's some things on here that you can talk about. I'm going to talk with my teens on Monday to see about going down there and recording some of these. Justin, our ag guy, he does a lot of this too. So we've gotten in with them. So I would love to blast some kids on the radio if that is something we can do. If you know kids that want to talk on the radio, it's great for record books. So and we've already got stuff written up about it. So this is kind of something I wanted to touch on with everyone when it comes to National 4-H Week, just to kind of generate some ideas. And I was really proud that McLean County made it in here 3 times out of everyone in the state. So there's some helpful resources down here on the back page. There's some marketing resources. If you need something marketed that's specific to McLean County, let me know. I've got great computer software that I can generate something for you. There's a promotional video on the website, so we can blast that all over social media, whatever's easiest for you. Right, Lynn would be willing.
Share
Awesome.
your club meetings, if you're holding them, just kind of let kids know, or maybe contact your schools. I mean, as far as the 4-H promo video, it might be a great thing to send out to your teachers, and they can kind of put a plug out for us for that week. Just a thought. I know a lot of these classrooms have smart boards, and
Yes.
it might be kind of fun to do something like that. So
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great question. So for those online that didn't hear, she was talking about how it's opportunity for all and we don't discriminate in 4-H. She was running if there are scholarships available. So yes, actually us, McLean County has a scholarship that we give to those that cannot pay the $20 enrollment fee. It's a paper and it's in our office, and they're more than welcome to fill it out. So if you know of someone in your club that hasn't paid their dues yet because they're struggling financially or whatnot, yes, we have a scholarship fund that can pay their way. They do have to fill out the scholarship form and turn it back into the extension office. But if that is something that you see in your club, either holler at me to, send them a personal email, or you do it, however you feel comfortable. I know it's uncomfortable to talk about money with some people, and I understand that, but we do have a fund for that. So good. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Contact me and we'll get that sent out to whoever it needs to go to, and we'll get their dues paid. So yes, we don't necessarily have a scholarship fund when it comes to activities, but that would also touch, I think, into the booster club perspective of everything, which we'll go over more of money situation on Monday for booster club. When it comes to paying, so our booster club, for those that don't know, they do pay for some of the fees for like summer camp, kids that want to go to summer camp. You guys pay half the fees, don't you? So they pay half the fees, so they cut our costs down for summer camp to half, and usually it's like $40 for like 3 days at summer camp. So our booster club is really awesome when it comes to paying for certain activities and things like that. So it's might be a struggle this next year, but just because we didn't get to have our big fundraiser we usually do. But I've got some things up my sleeve that I'm going to talk to everyone about on Monday. I won't waste any time on that today, but good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Any other questions, people online and here, when it comes to National 4-H Week? So we will, do you want to just hold off on National 4-H to Monday, or do you want to discuss it now, or do you want to just kind of, yeah, okay. So marinate on it. We'll come up with something on Monday. As for Sharon messaged us on here, Leah, the boxes sound awesome. I'm with kids all day too, and I'm worried about having meetings and being in another area to be exposed or have members exposed at a meeting. So great point, Sharon. So let's talk about planning county or club meetings. Let's generate some talk. I just wanted to touch on National 4-H Week. So
as far as I know, and Rayanne's not on here with us today, we really haven't thought of themes. Our meetings that Blanchard has done in the past, you called them, what did you call them?
I call them circuits. And
Circuits.
I don't know why I said that.
And
but I did.
well, I kind of like it.
Okay.
So Alex mentioned circuits. We've called them centers.
Centers. That's what I was trying to think.
But we do a center where they do make their own snack. We have an activity, if it's with our recreation leader, that gets them up and moving. We have maybe a kid who has a good demonstration, or they want to talk about their project area, or they do another little activity. There's a learning activity that we do, but we try to have about 6 centers of different things, those being one of those centers. And then we divide our kids up, because we can range from having 30 kids to 60 kids at our club meetings. We have a good group of kids, and so we divide them up. So each center probably has about 6 kids. We don't put all the older ones in one group and all the younger ones in another group. Rayanne's great at, she lines them all up either by height or a birthday or something. And then she'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a variety. She does it for multiple reasons. You don't want siblings going around just being with siblings. They need to meet other people. It's good for a little kid to look up to a bigger kid. It's good for these older kids to learn how to work with a younger kid. It's kind of their leadership skills. So there's different ways as to why we put a variety of ages within one group. One of our other centers is, they can't see me.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That's why.
Okay.
Is that better? Can you see Leah now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. And so, okay, got off track
I'm
there for a
sorry.
minute. No, it's okay. So there's different reasons why we do different ages in a group, and they're small groups. So we meet in our cafeteria, or we have met in our cafeteria at the school. We can spread out those 6 centers, and we rotate. And so they're in a center for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Your younger Clover buds, their mindset, you can sustain them for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then they're ready to move on. There is time for all our activities. So when we start our meetings, we start out with a business meeting. We close that. If we have someone that's going to do a demonstration, we kind of leave it up to them if they want to do it for the whole group, or if they want to be one of those centers. Sometimes if that demonstration turns into a hands-on type thing, then they can do that amongst them. When we get to close to our speech contests and demonstration contests, we definitely try to have somebody do it for that meeting that's right before that competition, so we can kind of teach all those kids how to do it. We do come up with a theme for a month. So one of ours was staying home alone, and we kind of went over some safety aspects. We gave them a recipe that they could do if they were home alone.
Spoons. Spoons was my favorite.
Oh yes, another one of our themes was spoons. And I didn't know, everybody didn't know this, but when you cut a persimmon seed in half, it kind of tells you what the weather is like. So we kind of went through some weather during that time. If it's a spoon, you're going to be shoveling snow. If it's a fork, it's going to be a warm season. If it's a knife, you're going to cut through ice. That's just kind of one of those things that I'd learned. So we did find a persimmon seed, and we cut it in half, and it kind of showed us what the wise tale was for that winter, that winter coming up. So it was kind of fun. The kids learned that. We played spoons. If you've never played that game, the next center was playing spoons, and the kids did that. We made pudding, I believe, for our snack. They learned how to, they use a spoon to make pudding, and then that was their snack. Rayanne brought a ton of spoons. I don't know where she got all these spoons, but did you know that when you set a table, there's several different types of spoons? And so the kids learned how to identify different spoons for different types of foods and things like that. What else
And then
was
the
in there?
activity for the spoon. If you tie a string to a spoon, and then you have the ends of the string and you put them in your ears,
Oh,
and
yes.
you knock your spoon on certain materials,
Surfaces.
it makes a different sound. And so I think they talked about sound and music, and how
Yes.
like tapping your spoon against this sounds different than tapping your spoon against something that's plastic and things like that. So that was a cool activity that they got to do too. That was my favorite one.
So
I know it's kind of random, but
I know, but it is one of those neat things. And I think there was another one. Did we make catapults with a spoon during that time too?
You can make catapults with a spoon to fling things. I think we did that at Pumpkin Fair too.
Yes. And so we had different ideas for that one. Another one that we did, I think we did a theme on birds. And so we did go outside for a little bit to find birds and kind of watch them. At a school, I think the only thing we really did find was maybe a robin and one of those black crow looking things, so there wasn't a lot to look at. But we gave them information that they could go and check out in their backyard, and we talked over different types of birds. We did bird parts, how to identify a bird. One of our kids made bird seed things that you could hang outside with pine cones and peanut butter. That was one of our activities. During that time, the snack was just something that they could do. It wasn't necessarily themed with the birds, but we had a snack that they could create. They had a lot during that time. I believe, what was it? Tractor Supply donated lots of bird feeders at that time, and Alex had a bunch of them in the closet. So we brought those and displayed different bird feeders and what feeders were good for particular birds in their backyard, and maybe seeds, what they ate. That was another activity. And then we've done some on trees for outdoor people. We've done some, Rayanne's really good about engineering and
Oh yeah, we have a full
STEM
engineering
stuff.
kit back here that you can take, and it has directions and everything.
Yes, and with some of that, you know, we might try to incorporate photography in one of those centers and how to take pictures of whatever that theme might be.
I've got cameras. You guys can borrow cameras.
So this just kind of gives us an idea, and with Rayanne and I's kind of thought behind it, we want to pick themes that are going along with all kinds of project areas in 4-H. And this is how we're going to introduce our kids into a project area. They may focus that they're going to show cows. Well, cows is all great, and I'm not downing anybody who does cows. I love cows. But sometimes you need to pick out another project area that you can focus on too. My kids, well, Haley shows rabbits, but my kids, other than rabbits, they've never really showed anything. Hunter's main project is safety, health and fitness. So, you know, there are a lot of kids that Hunter has done demonstrations on in his area, thinking, oh, wow, there's a broad aspect in safety with that. If it's fire or home safety, tractor safety, ATV, there's all kinds of things that you can do with that. Photography is another one. Wyatt, he is focusing in outdoor recreation. So if you have a kid who is doing something like that, then definitely put one of those centers in with them and let them lead that outdoor recreation type thing for a couple of them. Give them that exposure, because there's always going to be another kid that is going to want to do something like that. They just don't know how to get started. So we can kind of give those kids, our centers are led by our kids as well. We do have lots of parents that come to our meetings, and we can have them like, can you oversee the food one over here today? You know, they're going to be working with a knife, or if we know in advance, and maybe we can get with that. The state has a blender bike that is really fun. The kids absolutely love it. If you've never seen it, it is a bicycle that has a blender attached to it. So you can make smoothies, you can make salsa, we made hummus, you can do all kinds of things like that, and the kids ride the bike as they pedal it, the blender works. And so you put all your ingredients in it and stuff, they're thrilled, everybody's thrilled. It's just a fun thing that if we want to do that one month, maybe Alex can get that for us for about 3 weeks, and we can pass it around. So the box thing, going back to that, we can kind of come up with a theme. We can come up with a couple of centers to put in this box. Maybe between the booster club, or, you know, Alex may have some funds that we can get the supplies to put in these boxes, get it out to our students. Maybe we don't do it every month. Maybe we turn around and we do, I don't know, I'm just kind of coming up with some ideas here. Maybe try to do maybe 3 in-person meetings countywide in here where we can spread everybody out, and do a formal meeting and stuff. And then maybe we can do the activity boxes that we can send out the other months. I think we have, it's already September. We may try to kick this off October to do our first box, and maybe that might be a great one that maybe we try to do National 4-H Week together in here with everybody. I don't know if that is a thing where we can kind of spread it out, talk about the boxes, let our county officers kind of run the show on that one. Maybe we can do something where those that want to attend can be here, and we can still Zoom it on the thing.
And
With our
in
other
saying
kids.
that, I can also, like, if we want to do this box introduction thing,
Mhm.
I can get with, you know, whoever wants to be involved, you know, you or some of the kids, and we can do a promo video for it. I've got
Mhm.
all the equipment. I just need, you know, some people that want to help and talk about it. We can lift this thing off the ground. I mean, promo
Mhm.
videos go a long way when it comes to things nowadays with social media and things like that. So I've got all the stuff for it. So I just need people to help.
I'm started thinking with the radio spot,
Uh-huh.
you know, if even if you do something this, you can have several of your members say
Yes.
lines on a video.
Mhm.
Yes. And yeah, and we've done that before too. We've had I've had the officers, you know, make some things. But yes, I don't want this just to be an officer driven thing. I know Corinne on here said something about Brylan would be interested in it. And so I'm sure Lily and Brylan can do something. And I always say work with what you have. So if you want to do it at home, you go for it. You whip that cell phone out, you record something. If it's something that you want edited or something, send it to me. I'll put our brand on it. I'll add some things into it. But yeah, I'm always about that kind of stuff. And I always want to get all of the kids involved. It doesn't have to be just my county officers. So if you have some kids that want to come together and do a really cool promo video, let's do it, you know.
Our school lets out in May, right around the 12th or the 13th. So we normally don't have a meeting in May in Blanchard because our meeting falls normally the week after and our kids are already out. In December, that our meeting falls through Christmas break. So we try to either bump that up or we have to skip it depending on what else is going on in the schools and stuff. But if I count right, I think that we have 6 or 7 months left of this school year that we would actually have meetings at. So, I mean, that would be 6 or 7 meetings that we need to come up possibly with a theme or some ideas. And, you know, 6 boxes does not sound like a lot of boxes to me as far as thinking of that kind of thing. But maybe we can still keep these kids engaged. And then as leaders, focus maybe
I was waving at Connor, sorry.
working on some other, you know, county type things that we need. I'd like to, you know, focus on too, to get out there. You know, I don't want to totally give up speech contests or demonstration contests, but I think we do need to put a little effort into those, thinking how we can do those safely. If it's virtual or, you know, stretching them out a little bit, doing one on the stage, one in that corner, one in here or something, you know. So I know we still have activities. Other counties are definitely still continuing on with their different events and competitions and moving forward. Hunter was invited to go down south and to one of the meetings, and he did a leadership activity with them as a state officer. And I don't think that clubs are doing individual type meetings, but she's trying to do a county one and having these kids come into their building and do it. Now their room that they were in, it was bigger than the classroom here, but it wasn't quite as big as this. And so she didn't have 50 kids there by no means, but they were able to spread out and they were still able to do some activities, and they wore masks. So it was encouraging, to be quite honest, you know, and it was driven by their officers. And I believe at the next meeting, they are going to be electing their next set of county officers, but they had some new kids there that were joining them. And so it was a good meeting thing. So it was fun to watch them. So, okay, so those are some of my ideas that I wanted to kind of share, see what everybody else was thinking. I don't know what everybody else has decided to do is for meetings. Okay, we've got another one on here for Kim. If we were to do a textile box with sewing and maybe knitting, needles and yarn are not expensive, but to buy 100+ kits would get quite pricey. How might we supply the boxes? Actually, just thinking that sewing on a button would be a great thing for kids to learn to do too. Even the littles could do a button with yarn and plastic darning needles. Yes, great, Kim. I
would
agree.
say don't worry about the money situation right now. We've got county funds, and that's what our 1 cent sales tax pays for. So we should be good on that note of things. I mean, obviously we don't want to go super expensive with everything, but if we can keep it to a certain, I don't mind that at all.
Okay, so Alex is going to take care of the cost.
I will. We have already.
Within reason. Who wants a new car?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I do. Yes, within reason, if we put, a couple activities, and we can schedule weekend work. Heck, we go through the back there. I've got stuff back there in that closet that can just be distributed to whoever, whenever, however. That's why I have it. So I've got a bunch of stuff for emergency preparedness. I've got this cool bucket thing that Wyatt actually taught. So I've got a ton of them in my office. So if we want to use those, I've got pizza boxes that Andrew taught how to make a solar oven with a pizza box. So I've got that already. So if we want to come up with maybe October, either today or on Monday, we can possibly have those ready to distribute by Pumpkin Fair. If that's something that we want to try to do, or if that's too soon.
So what do you guys think? With it being October, I'm just going to throw this idea out here, and we've got Pumpkin Fair coming up. Maybe pumpkins could be our theme, and we could do different things with that.
Do you guys, wait a second, do we like this box idea? Is this something we all want to get involved in? If not, that's fine too. But if it was just something that it came up with. We need your all's opinion too.
I like it, especially, this is Corinne, especially as it starts getting colder. I mean, we were okay with the outside meeting the other day, but Lee and I had already talked about, like, what are we going to do when it gets cold and we have to go inside, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and if you guys are still having a meeting and want to do it outside, I say go for it. But you could also still pass out the boxes if, with your kiddos. Right. Okay, so with some of you that are on Zoom with us, I'm reading Sharon's. Yes, Sharon, there was an email that went out as far as Pumpkin Fair open to McLean County, or is it only 4-H members?
It's just 4-H members this year because we're trying to keep
numbers
down as possible. So it's not open to the public like usual. If you're a 4-H member, you're more than welcome. Like I said, it's going to be outside this year, but it's just 4-H members this year.
All right. So those that are on Zoom, do we want to all contribute in a theme? Do you want is there 3 or 4 of us that want to kind of get together and come up with 3 themes for the year? Do you guys want to shoot me some ideas? And then Monday at our Booster Club meeting, I can collaborate all those together and we can kind of put that together. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, because I am throwing this out. This is not the Alex and Leah show.
this is everyone's show. I just know that Rayanne and had called me out of the blue one day and said something about this, and then I know they're trying to run with the idea because they need it. They're grasping at things because they can't meet at their school. So
Well, Kim brought up a good point too. And Kim, you know, the county officers are meeting on Monday before us. So I agree. The kids should be involved, like our
Yes.
county officers. So maybe Alex can bring it up to those kids.
I was going to, yes, that is in our agenda on Monday.
And
Yes.
they can come up with some ideas and some things.
for
And
sure.
then why don't we at our booster club meeting then later kind of see how we can elaborate a little bit more. If the kids can come up with a monthly theme, we can help with some other things. So if you guys have some ideas or have something that you want to do or share, we can definitely do that. Wayne is still trying to find a place to hold meetings. We can't meet at our school, church, or
Sharon, you're
church.
always more than welcome to meet here at the office, just like anybody else is more than welcome if they can't hold a meeting to meet here in this big room. I know it's out of your town. With Wayne, it's not as far. It's 7-8 miles, so that's easier. But Sharon, let me know if you do want me to schedule something for this building. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, our meetings, Sharon, our meetings are right after school, about 3:30. So Purcell, I do not think is an option for us. I just don't know how many of our kids would travel to Purcell for a meeting. So I think that a box theme might be good. And then when we do county events, I think that would definitely be something that they'd show up to. So
And same with project clubs. If they need a place to meet, I know Andrew Triplett had mentioned something about the robotics club that they necessarily don't know if they can meet at the bank anymore where they were meeting. So I offered this as a place to meet. So that goes for project clubs as well. That's
Sharon has asked, could we have a countywide club meeting as part of the pumpkin fair?
oh. Yeah, we'll have to fit that in, but yes.
We could possibly do
Yes,
that
we
since it's
can.
4-H kids.
We can gather and that's no big deal. What, Lucy, you have an idea? I can see it.
No, I didn't.
No, I said everybody.
Oh, okay. Sharon had asked if at Pumpkin Fair we can kind of have like a little
Countywide club
countywide
meeting.
meeting at Pumpkin Fair on the 3rd, October 3rd. That's sounds great.
Okay, so let's let the kids, our county officers, kind of come up with some thoughts and ideas of some project areas they might want to focus on for these next few months. And we'll go through there, go from there, and we'll discuss more at our booster club meeting.
That works for me, and that's
And
12 or
then
6, so
I
yeah.
will try after our booster club meeting, I'll try to, for those that can't make it, I'll get some notes or have our secretary get some notes with a timeline for these boxes and get it sent to all our leaders if you guys aren't there. Does that sound like a plan? All right. Well, I'm done with mine then.
Okay. Does anybody have any last minute thoughts, questions, anything? Zoom, throw it in the chat or turn your mic on. It's a little afternoon, so I'm gonna let y'all go if you don't have any questions, concerns, anything. We good? Awesome. Okay, I recorded this, so I have it for my records. If you know of any leaders that wanted to come to this that couldn't, I can always shoot this to them. They can watch it. They can get credit for it if they watch it. So with that being said, those that are on the Zoom, I've got some binders for you if you want one. Brad, I didn't necessarily make you one because I know you've got your whole board and things that you have. I just kind of wanted to do it for more of those the new leaders that we had come on. So I've got financials for everyone. If you want your financial records for your club, shoot me an email. Everyone got one that was here. Zoom members did not. So I'm good if you guys are good.
I'm good. Thanks, Alex.
Okay, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I will let everyone on Zoom go. And you guys can go too. Bye, guys.